So what do we see here outside Beverly Hills City Hall?
Oh, we see a beautiful display that unfortunately shouldn't even have to be here, but it's a table set for a Shabbos dinner with 239, I believe, chairs for the hostages being held against their will in Gaza. There are a handful of blue chairs which have been traded out because, thank God, this morning a limited number of hostages have been released. And we have a kind of a candle lighting here with a beautiful Jewish star and a Chai in the middle and Am Yisroel Chai. And that's it.
So this is the day that the ceasefire began, and what about the hostage? Shall we say the hostage and prisoner exchange? What took place today?
Right. So this morning, our morning, then the evening in Israel, just before Shabbat, was the beginning of a 4-day ceasefire. And as a result of this ceasefire, Hamas, with a lot of arm pulling, has agreed to release a limited number of hostages in exchange for a multiple number of Palestinians who were found guilty of various crimes, large and small, who are now been freed.
From jail?
From jail, being held in Israel.
Okay.
For crimes.
Okay. So this is a small display, but very impressive.
Beautiful.
But earlier today, there were several hundred Muslims and leftists protesting against Israel.
Right.
On a day that should be a day that everyone's happy.
Right.
Where's the media attention going to be today?
Right. Well, first of all, it defies imagination. It's beyond belief that on a singular day, that the world should be rejoicing for a moment of peace where hostages are being freed. Somehow that's not good enough for a segment of our society that want nothing more than death and destruction. So they decided to use this opportunity to march through the streets, stop traffic, disrupt what's otherwise known as Black Friday at the Grove and turn it into an entirely different Black Friday.
Because yesterday was Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yesterday being Thanksgiving, today being the day after.
It's just a shopping
It's a shopping day. It's the wonderful day known as Black Friday, where retail stores can go from being in the red to being in the black.
But, and the black means not
black
losing
means
money.
Making some money.
Okay.
Making some money. That's all. Black Friday is a term of endearment.
But there are calls for not only Israel to stop prosecuting the war in Gaza, but for Israel to be conquered.
Right. Of course.
And for Jews to be, they say globalize the Intifada. Right. The Intifada means
destruction. The end.
Yeah. And so that's taking place also today. And what do you think about the contrast? And is this enough to counterbalance the marches through the streets that stop traffic?
You know, I mean, it for whatever the reason, and it defies logic and reality, but whatever Israel or the Jews try and do for peace in the world is turned upside down and inside out and made to be the villain. And today is a perfect example of that. I mean, it's all we can say. This is nothing but a hope for peace and wonder of the world. And whatever we try and do, it does not work. So it's just terrible.
Yeah. Is this purely a Muslim-Jewish issue?
Oh, no. I'm sorry to say it's quite not. It's pretty much Jewish, and I'm not going to quite say everyone else, but the numbers are far bigger than Muslim. Yeah.
No, what you talk about in terms of anti-Semitism?
Yes.
But what about in terms of Islamic imperialism and the extending the Islamic empire over democracies?
Right. Well, I mean, again, we're seeing that happen across the globe, and in whatever we try and do to hold our ground for democracy and for freedom and for the right of all beings. It doesn't seem to quite win the day just yet, but we're not going to give up the fight.